What's up everybody and welcome back to this channel, and I hope you enjoyed the topic that I did in the last video about intentions. So for this video, it's going to be something somewhat related, but I'm going to go into a bit more detail. Yet again, no mentioning of names, organizations and parties, but it's going to be about the hypocrisy of our concern. Which you may be wondering, isn't it good that we care about things around us? How can I call our concerns a hypocrisy? Now let me go into a bit of a detail, but yet again, I'm not going to mention about names. Now recently, if you guys have been following the news in America, there's another case of police brutality where this police kind of pinned the person down using his knee and is pressing on the person so hard that the person basically died and suffocated during the pursuit. Now, obviously, when something like a police brutality issue goes wild, everybody's going to go onto the internet saying, oh my goodness, it's not fair, justice for the victim. Definitely, we are calling out for justice, and it should be done because often so authorities do abuse their power, and sometimes it just needs to be clear and made loud. But from this incident, I want to call it another perspective. Once again, I am not denying any form of justice. I'm introducing a new perspective, which is our concern equal in all directions? Now let me be a bit more clear on this. Now, when we see a news case of police brutality, we can easily become the best internet keyboard warrior and crusader and say, we need justice, we need justice. It's common and it's good because it kind of stresses the importance that we are against authorities abusing their power. But then, it got me thinking, do we have the same amount of concern for a random stranger as we have for the friends and family around us? And yet again, in past videos I've said it before, it doesn't mean that I'm a saint. It doesn't mean that I'm all great, and I'm not a crusader, I'm not some activist of something. But I'm just a person who likes to reflect. We can care about someone who died of police brutality. I mean, it's good, it shows that we're still human and we have some empathy in us. But time to think about friends and family around us. We may be having friends who are going through dealing with very sick relatives, suffering losses, undergoing a life tragedy, having trouble recovering from the problems that they're dealing with. Are we showing the same amount of compassion as we have towards a police brutality case? Are we showing the same amount of outcry with our hands towards the people we love as the amount of voice that we use to call for justice? Because many times I feel like, as I said, it's related to the last video, our intentions sometimes are so biased that when something gets spread on the internet, we are so quick to react. We take to the keyboards and want to call for justice. And again, I'm not denying our need for compassion and empathy. But are we evenly giving it to the people around us? Are we shouting on the internet because it's a news article, it's a case, and everyone is calling for justice, so we are joining in the bandwagon? Or are we really people who have compassion and empathy? Because if we are people with compassion and empathy, we would channel the same amount of this compassion and empathy as we have towards a police brutality case into having compassion and empathy towards relatives in crisis. And again, I'm not a saint, and I'm not saying I'm an expert at this, but still, many things deserve our reflection. It's easy to take concern from strangers because we know we wouldn't get beaten down, because that person doesn't know us and we are just joining in the crowd as people who care. Again, nothing wrong. But what about to the people who know us? we may build some bad reputation for not having concern to the people around us. But then does it mean that we cannot recover? I'm sure sometimes a simple reach out or simple phone call does a lot more in building the relations around you than typing a few words calling out for justice on the internet. I'm sure your friend would be more happy to receive a phone call from you, asking them how they're doing at least, than seeing you share a post saying justice for the victim with a hashtag. And I know that even I'm trying to generalize everything, people may get offended by what I say. But still, it comes down to one thing. If it's not you, it doesn't sound like you, then it's not you. But if you get offended or you feel something about this, then maybe you are guilty. Like I say, I may be guilty myself for saying all this. But that is up to me to reflect, because if I can feel guilty of the things I say, it means that I've still got things to learn. But what about everybody else? Many times people only focus on getting offended, but they never think about what else can I learn. Because getting offended means that there's some gap in you, be it emotional gap, you're overly sensitive, or there's a knowledge gap. There's still things that I misunderstand. And that thing is a bit of a touchy thing for me. Touchy things, either we stay away to not cause trouble, or we learn about it to gain closure and knowledge. So it all comes down to how we take a certain situation. So I'm going to end the video at that, and I hope this is another video that calls for good reflection to you. And yes, I'm not saying that we cannot have compassion towards people on the news, but it's important that we channel our compassion and empathy equally to the people around us, especially the fact that we know each other. That's the important thing. So I'm gonna end the video at that, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.